Government and university lecturers are yet to resolve their disagreement, as ASUU insists government is not sincere about negotiation. But tonight we hear the side of government and the way forward. And Professor Pat Utomi and his friends are working on a third political force ahead of 2023 election. We'll find out their plans and their agenda. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimbalo in Abuja. Let's begin by telling you about the latest on Mr. Abba Kyari, the senior police officer who is embattled and facing a lot of issues. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the NDLA, has filed 8 counts of hard drugs trafficking against the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, DCP Abba Kyari. Abba Kyari was charged with the criminal offenses alongside 4 other senior police officers and 2 civilians. The charge was filed at the Federal High Court in Abuja. Meanwhile, Nigeria has approved the request by the United States for the extradition of the suspended Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abba Kyari, who is now wanted to stand trial for conspiracy to commit wire fraud, money laundering, and identity theft. He was accused of conspiring with a United Arab Emirates-based Nigerian, Rahman Abbas, also known as Osh Poppy, to commit the crime. The Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, today says in a statement that he has filed an application before the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court in Abuja for Kyari's extradition. The AG says that the application followed a request by the diplomatic representative of the U.S. Embassy in Abuja. If you've been experiencing incessant power outage or lack of electricity supply in your area, there seems to be some reasons for that. And the Minister of Power is explaining the reason for the situation. The minister was speaking at a weekly briefing at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Take a listen to the minister on the situation of power in the country.
The reduction in hydro capacity during the dry season, additional load needs to be taken up by our gas plants. We are having maintenance work in the eastern axis around Odupami, leading to reduced power supply from the usually reliable NDPHC Calabar power plant. And we are having challenges at Okoloma gas station, linked to AFAM 6 power plant. We are working with NNPC and other gas suppliers also to improve the pressure on the western axis, and that is precluding these units from reaching optimum supply. These challenges are surmountable. We are working assiduously to ensure that all locations in the country are metered through the National Mass Metering Program. Discos that fail to perform will be sanctioned. We continue to engage with organized labor who have continued to monitor the process and provide important feedback on improvements needed for Nigerians. Gone are the days where charges are made with poor service. Service-based tariff and the central bank oversight of DISCO bank account has ensured that payments discipline is instituted in the market for collections and payments to reach generation and transmission through a regulated payment waterfall.
That's the Minister of Power, and some sort of warning to those who are in charge to ensure that power is provided and some of the challenges being experienced. Tonight, Our attention is on the dispute between federal government and some labor unions, especially university lecturers who are now down to, it's been several days now, they've gone on strike, saying that government is not sincere with their agreements. Tonight, we'll be speaking with the Minister of Labor and Employment. Stay with me, everyone, because when we come back, after showing you your political roundup stories, we get to talk to the minister and get explanation on the reason why we have to go towards or have strike actions before government take action on some of these issues. These are some of their political roundup stories.
Members of the House of Representatives today rejected a bill to prevent children of public office holders from going to school outside the country. The bill was sponsored by the member representing Essa Southeast constituency of Edo State, Mr. Sergis Ogun, who said the bill is to ensure that public officers do not use public funds to send their children abroad for education.
We are concerned at the frequency of the disruption of the Nigerian education system.
Some students under the aegis of Coalition of Northern Groups are asking the Minister of Education to resign due to the ongoing industrial action by the Academic Staff Union of Universities. The group laments how Nigeria loses about 1.5 trillion naira annually to overseas studies. In Imo State, a civil society group has condemned calls by the People's Democratic Party for the cancellation of the just concluded by-election in Ngoropala local government area of the state. The group claims the election is one of the freest and most credible conducted by INEC in recent times, having monitored the conduct in all the 11 wards and 193 polling units. The former Vice President, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, has expressed confidence that the People's Democratic Party will win the 2023 presidential election and constitute majority of the National Assembly. He was speaking during a meeting with the PDP caucus of the National Assembly, where he sought their support in his bid to run for the office of president. Former chairman of the PDP, Ahmed Bakarfi, who was in River State to commission 2.4 kilometers out the Ekpena Road by Governor Ngige, has asked Nigerians to support the party to retake power during the 2023 presidential election. Mr. McCarthy is confident that victory for the party will mean right infrastructure and guaranteed security across the country. And the senator who represented Kaduna North Senatorial District at the 8th Assembly, Senator Suleiman Nkui, has now pitched his tent with the new Nigeria People's Party. The former lawmaker said he joined the party because neither his former party, the PDP, nor the All Progressives Congress have anything to offer the citizens. Also joining the NNPP are the Director General of Nasir El-Rufai Campaign Organization in 2019, Ben Kure, and a former member of the House of Representatives, Mohammed Soba. They were among those present at the unveiling of the new party in Kaduna State today. The PDP has asked the European Union to have a special interest in the 2023 general elections, insisting that the country has continued to witness a decline in democratic tendencies since 2015. National chairman of the party, Senator Yocha Ayu, made the call in Abuja while hosting the EU elections observers mission in Nigeria. The observers say they are on a familiarization tour to political parties.
Well, then, you have it there. Now, renowned political economist, Professor Patu Tommy, is leading a committee negotiating the merger of several political parties and civil society movements to rescue Nigeria from the abyss. That is what they claim they are out to do. Professor Tommy said that he's briefing newsmen on the plans to form a third force to dislodge the two major political parties at the general elections in 2023. Take a listen to Professor Patu Tommy.
Fusion committee is a committee that was set up to manage a fusion of several political parties, several civil society movements into one platform to contest the 2023 elections, but more than contesting the 2023 elections, to provide direction for our country. This phenomenon of state capture has led to this strong disconnect between the people and the government, such that the government cannot be said most of the time to act in the interest of the Nigerian people. Most of the time. I can prove it to you with facts figures, the evidence is there that the government does not act in the interest of Nigerian people. I give you some small examples. As we speak, the people are hungry, the streets are angry, the young are unemployed. Touch people's pockets, there's nothing in it. And they have to queue for petrol. You can't get anywhere. Where is power? Governors are still flying in private charter jets. They don't go on commercial planes. Occasionally, by accident, you see one.
Professor Party Tommy and the dream or agenda of the third political force ahead of 2023. Well, let's get into our conversation for tonight, everyone, shall we? There's been some kind of impasse over the situation of the agreement between the federal government and university lecturers, and it does look like things are not working just yet. It has been months of unending threats of strike action and downtooling as different labor unions show grievances over what most of them describe as government's insincerity to agreements made concerning their wages and other emoluments or conditions of service. The latter situation is the impasse between the university lecturers who have now downtooled and now students are back home, and there's no looking like there's no end in sight. Government is making promise. They said they set up a committee. Tonight, we hope to get some answers and perhaps get our students and our young ones back into their schools. I'm being joined tonight by a former governor of Anambra State, a medical doctor by training, who later became a senator representing Anambra Central Senatorial District. He was appointed by President Muhammadu Buhari in 2015 and was reappointed as the Minister of Labor and Employment. Senator Chris Ngige, Minister of Labor and Employment, is our guest tonight on the program. Thank you so much, Honorable Minister, for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Sean, for having me here.
Tonight, our agenda is for you to be able to explain to Nigerians what exactly is happening. It's disappointing that students are at home. In fact, it is most disappointing right now that ASUU university lecturers are now saying the government is not sincere with the agreement. Since 2019, these agreements have been on the table. Honorable Minister, this is perhaps the fourth or third time that we're talking about ASUU right in this studio. And it does look like we're in the same place. Why has it been difficult for government to meet its own side of the bargain?
Yeah, thank you, and good evening, Nigerians. Shell, we are not in the same place. You say we're in the same place. No. You see, I'm a conciliator, and what I owe you and what I owe Nigerians is to always speak the truth as to what I have seen when this dispute or quarrel arises between a group of workers who aggregate themselves into unions and their employers, whether it's in the public sector, where government is the major employer, or in the private sector, where you have private enterprises employing them. So, for the issue at hand, which is the university teachers, university lecturers, they have aggregated themselves under an umbrella and call themselves Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU. And they were registered by the ministry, by my ministry before I came. And they are affiliated to the Nigeria Labour Congress. So to all intents and purposes, they are guided. They have submitted themselves to the laws of the Federation as per labor issues, whether it is formation, organization, disputes with their employers. So this is the situation. But I can tell you very confidently that because this is an association of intellectuals, they say they're intellectuals, they find it very difficult to get themselves into the mold of unions, labor unions, and to conform to all the nuances and the regulation that are bound there. The issue in dispute now is the 2020 agreement, midwife by my ministry and myself.
In fact, this agreement you are talking about and some of these demands have been coming since 2009.
Correct.
Minister, even before your term.
God bless you.
But you've made several promises in 2009, 2019, 2020.
I have all the agreements. And they snowball into a future agreement because collective bargaining agreements called CBA in labor parlance can be negotiated. That's what people don't even understand. So you can renegotiate a CBA.
Are you renegotiating the stand? No, because
you renegotiate a CBA if there is inability to conform in terms of an agreement, especially when it involves payment of money. The principle of ability to pay, capacity to pay, comes in. Do
you agree, Minister, that the government has failed on its own side to make the payments?
No.
Okay, so let's take it one after the other, Honorable Minister. Just a moment. Let's begin. Let's take it one after the other because there are demands.
Go on.
First and foremost, let me take you up on the agreement. It's been on since 2009, and still up to now, there's no full implementation of the agreement. True or false, Minister?
Which agreement?
Okay, let's show you some of the agreement, Minister.
2009 has so many agreements.
Just a moment. We'll show you some of the demands of the university lecturers.
Yes, go on.
Include payment of earned academic allowances.
Well, yes.
Revitalization fund.
Very good.
Replacement of the payroll system. IPs with UTAS. The conditions of service for university lecturers, funding of universities, university autonomy, and academic freedom.
Okay.
These are some of the demands that ASUU has made. And let me go to specifics now, so that it doesn't look like these are vague.
Let's take them seriously one after the other.
You promised to release 1.3 trillion naira between 2013 and 2018, apart from the 200 billion you released in 2013. This government has only released 70 billion in the past 7 years, in spite of the MOAs that you have kept or signed and the MOUs with government. True or false?
Good. Government is a continuum. The 1.3 trillion you're talking about was promised by the Jonathan government.
Does it matter?
It doesn't matter, because oil was selling at $100 a barrel then, $120 a barrel then. And the revenue of the Federation was rich. They even have excess crude amount
you
of money.
agree with the university lecturers when your government came into power? I mean, not minding that it was signed by the Jonathan administration.
And if they give you the agreement, they should give it to you.
I have the agreement.
The agreement says that government is unable to pay this. But to show commitment to the intentions of revitalization, for which this 1.3 trillion was promised. Mark you, it was promised by that administration. And they promised to kickstart the payment.
And they paid 200 billion.
They paid 200 billion, which they borrowed from TET fund. They didn't take it from Federation account. So in effect, you are taking something from a basket and putting it back. Because TET fund is a revitalization vehicle. So that 200 billion you're saying, or 220, they took it from TET fund and placed it on the table and said, we are paying you this. That payment spiraled even on to 2016 in the payment into our regime.
Minister, so let's put the 200 billion the Jonathan paid. In the 7 years of this government, you have only paid 70 billion.
No, government now said we don't have the money to pay it.
Since when have you realized that there's no money?
No, this was the agreement in 2016, 2017. But we will find a way by which we can fund the universities and revitalize the infrastructure there. So a committee was set up with ASUU as members. But government said, we're going to drop 25 billion for you to show you good faith that we are not talking nonsense or that this is of no effect. So that money was dropped. Again, another money was paid last year because the committee couldn't come up with anything that would generate fund. The committee even recommended that stamp duty should be taken. You know the story of the stamp duty between NIPOST and CBN and the struggle with even communications on stamp duty, so it was jettisoned. There was a proposal to get money from telephone calls, charges, by that same committee. ASUU people are members of that committee. Because you cannot give what you don't have. Government made it clear. We don't have this 1.1 trillion that is remaining.
Is that the present condition right now? That the government still doesn't have it?
We don't have it. It's in the agreements. You said you read the agreement.
No, but the last time, Minister, you made promise that about 40 billion or so was being prepared.
It was paid.
And so, if you look at it, so this government has only paid 10 billion per year in the last 7 years. So because 70 billion is what you are paid in 7 years.
Shehu, the government did not say we are going to pay you that 1.1 trillion that is remaining. They say we don't have this money. And under the principle of capacity to pay, ability to pay, let us renegotiate it because that fund is still there. Unless you want us to go and take money from that fund and deceive you, like was done in that period, and place it for you on the table and keep on giving it.
Does it mean that maybe this government is not playing priority on education?
No.
Because there is a United Nations standard of how much should be budgeted for education.
It's not only,
and we are very less. We are very far away from that quota.
It's not only education that has a percentage of.
But we're talking about education now.
No. If you go to health says 15% of budget. If you go to water and sanitation, it also gives you a percentage. If you, there is nowhere you go. If we meet the UN standard, then there will be nothing for anybody to even do infrastructure.
But Minister, if you realize that there have been recommendations that until we fix the issue of education, some of the problems of insecurity might not be solved.
I agree with you.
And I mean, one would think rationally that this government will pay priority and premium on the issue of education.
Shegu,
why is that not happening?
It's not only education that is priority. I've told you health is. We have an Abuja declaration in health, 15%. We have on education, which you've mentioned. What percentage did you quote?
For education?
Yes.
I think it was about 25 or 30% for education.
Correct. Another sector, environment, has an allocation for budgetary allocation of about 20%. And so on and so forth. By the time you look at it and put about 7 sectors, you already passed 100% of your budget.
Let's come back to the issue of ASUU. Minister,
education is power.
What is the situation of things now? How much can the government commit to?
Now,
because you know the picture now, Minister, is that government is not sincere. As far as the lecturers are concerned, that you keep going back and forth and deceiving them, and they are tired of signing MOUs.
You know the point. I'm a conciliator. That's why I'm able to give you facts and figures. Education Ministry will not even give you all these things I'm giving you. Because when I conciliate it, and the funds that are necessary, like if I do EAA, and allowances for the university system, which is not only for them, it's for even people who are working in the laboratories in the universities, for people who are doing overtime and the rest of them. Once we do it, and the money is not enough to pay from the federal budget, I go to Mr. President and get special dispensation with the finance minister for her to pay from special fund. So I know what I'm saying.
So the truth is,
the ASUU, the lecturers, know I'm their greatest friend. But ask them privately.
I'm not sure they know that.
No, ask them.
Because if that is true, they will probably not be down tooling.
I did Antoli for Ngige. I'm not the cause of Antoli.
You are the man in charge of labor. I mean, every employer, every employee of government is under is a credit to your ministry.
When they come,
labor and employment minister.
When they come to my ministry, is because their employers, their direct employers, are not giving them something, or that they're negotiating an agreement that is broken down.
It's an embarrassment for the government, isn't it? That you
Say,
belong.
oh no. On the 2020 agreement, that's why I want you to bring it out. Let us go seriate him. And you started and you ran away.
No, I didn't run away.
No,
I'm
you ran
taking
away.
you up. No, because we've not resolved one.
No, would you
Minister,
just listen?
On the issue of the payment that needs to be paid by government. And you have said that you don't have the money.
No, wait.
But the way forward is, how much do you have, Minister?
Your revitalization.
Yes.
There are so many other components. After revitalization, you have earned academic allowances and earned allowances for other people in the university system. Government last year alone paid 40 billion, the one you're talking about, for revitalization, paid 30 billion again as 30 billion for revitalization, 40 billion for end academic allowances, 2 tranches. That was rolled over and paid in January, February. Paid 22.172 billion again in November, December last year. So altogether, aggregately, last year alone, what the government paid into that university system for end academic allowances and end allowances for other staff, revitalization fund was 92.172 billion. 92. And I was instrumental to pushing
Just
it.
a moment, Minister.
So I don't know whether you have your figures correct.
No, I have my figures here.
Okay.
But I just wanted to take a moment to listen to the president of the University Lecturers Association. He was speaking on our sister program earlier this week. Take a listen to him. I'd like the minister to respond to some of the issues raised.
Yes.
We got a notice from him for a meeting on Tuesday. But as usual, what are they bringing back to us? If you recall, for the past 9 years or so, 13 years, they've been giving all these promises. But once the strike is over, they relapse. If you recall, we met with the senior president, and we agreed on this issue that we met with the Speaker of House of Representatives in October. They also agreed on the way they are speaking now, the same way they spoke. We met with the NIREC, who also intervened with the president, who set up a 3-man ministerial committee to interact with us. It's still the same issue. So our colleagues are tired of these promises which they don't fulfill. What we want is action. That's what we want. I heard you talking about UTAS and what have you. Let me give you this. If Nigeria is proud of home growth solution, why would they accept foreign one without testing? And then the homegrown, the one by FG-ASUU, that has come more than 80% in the test, and you say you should not apply. Why would they accept foreign one without test? And today you are seeing the effect. The report of the Auditor General of the see the effect of not testing that particular solution, IPs. And we are having a homegrown that all of us can work together and quickly apply to solve the problem of IPs. And we are still hearing stories. So that is it. We don't believe in ourselves. Anytime this country believes in itself, we will solve all this problem. IPs were brought to Nigeria from nowhere, commercial, spending so much money, and creating so much havoc in the system. It was not tested. So those are the problems we have. Our members are tired of, we're not more interested in MOA, MOU agreement for this issue. We want action. Let them show what they have done.
Honorable Minister, that is the president of ASUU. I'd like to go into another angle which it took the matter, but let's resolve this matter. For the sake of those students who are at home, and I know you have your own children also in the university system here in Nigeria, some of your colleagues, the accusation and allegations against some of you and your colleagues is the fact that some of your children are outside of the country, and that is why you probably allegations are that you don't care about the university system locally here. But what is the way forward? When are we likely to see that these university lecturers will go back to work? I mean, Nigerians don't care how this is done. They just want this to be resolved. Do you have an idea of when this strike can be called off?
Well, in the last 48 hours, we met with ASUU. I had to invite them. Of course, they started the strike while I was away. And I spoke with them. So we have held a second meeting last Tuesday. And all the issues you have there, starting from academic allowance, revitalization, promotion areas, IPs and shortfall of payment on IPs, usage of university transparency solution UTAS against IPs, funding of state universities,
university autonomy and academic freedom.
University autonomy and freedom, they're all the same. They have been dealt with.
That's the promise you're telling, you're telling
They
Nigerians.
have been dealt with.
And we can hold you to those
Excuse
words.
me, a lot of them have even been dealt with after our meeting in October last year. That's why I said that I was shocked that they went on a strike. The only place they have a point to hold on to and even do their strike is on the issue of the renegotiation of 2009 condition of service.
Right.
Because their condition of service was supposed to be reviewed.
Are you able to resolve this immediately?
Of course, we have fixed a timeline on it.
What is the timeline?
And the education has to go back, put up the committee back, because there was a committee on this, and they produced a report, an interim report, or a proposed agreement that have not been signed, because salaries, incomes, and wages raise objections to a lot of things they have in there. Because the things they have in there in terms of allowances were contrary to existing extant financial regulations.
Minister, so, there's a disconnect between the lecturers and the federal government. I mean, the things that you're saying.
There's no disconnect.
And what, there are a few questions I'd like to ask
There's
you.
No disconnect.
But we need to take a break.
That proposal, they should have gone to education and force education to bring the proposal up.
Isn't it the one government? You are Labour, you're education.
I'm not Minister of Education.
No, but you are part of this government.
But I called them and said, hey, ASUU is complaining that you have not put up this. Do this, do that. That is the extent.
So why is the Education Ministry failing on its duties?
I don't know. ASUU should answer you.
All right. So we take a break, Minister. The issue of UTAS and IPs, why you are stuck on not using UTAS, you'll be able to explain to us, because that's another accusation ASUU is laying on your doorstep. We take a break, and when we come back, the conversation with Senator Ngige, the Minister of Labour and Employment, continues. Then also we will speak with the minister. He's a politician, and we'll probably talk about the 2023 election, APC internal affairs, and the Igbo presidency agenda. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. So much, everyone, for staying with us. Let's continue our conversation with the Honorable Minister of Labour and Employment, Senator Ngige. He's been speaking with us on the situation with the university lecturers who are now down to, and the students are now at home. Honorable Minister, we just wanted to know when the students will go back to school. We know what could happen if they continue to stay at home. They say the idle hand is the devil's workshop. A popular saying. When do you think that this might likely end? A lot of parents who are watching tonight, and they are dismayed about the situation of things. When do you hope that this might be resolved?
I'm hoping ASUU should do the right thing and then contact their members, so that they brief them on the conciliation we have had in the last 2 weeks. First and foremost, the issue of end academic allowances, we have agreed, given a timeline for National University Commission, to go back to the old template they used in working out the 2021 end academic allowance. They used the rule of the thumb, an average of 10.8% of personnel costs. So we want them to go back very quickly and use that same formula and get us what we are supposed to pay in 2022. That's agreed by everybody. Revitalization, we had some, the amount is not very clear, what has been paid. The Accountant General's office came with their printout. So we now want to know what the actual payment done is. And then we've told them, well, this is ascertained. We will then agree again on how to pay something on the outstanding 170 billion. It's 170 billion that's outstanding from the 220, which they say government should try and pay, even if you don't have the ability to pay. Which is, to me, it's okay, it's magnanimous, and it was stretched. So something will be paid there again. On promotion areas, Budget Office of the Federation and Accountant General tendered documents to show that they have been paid to promotion areas, and that 22 universities have been paid. That's why I've taken the document back to go and verify the truthfulness of the document.
So in all of this, Minister, could you tell us?
No, we have done a report. They're supposed to share the report with their members.
Today is Thursday, Minister.
No, that they promised they will get back to me this evening.
So possibly, maybe Monday, we should be seeing students going back to school?
Of course. I don't see why they should not. IPs, we have formed the technical committee.
You realize it's a dent on this government's image that students are at home. There is few queues on the roads as we speak. Students are at home.
This government has the list of fuel queues shown.
No, that is not the question. No, that's not the question. Is that the few queues are there and students are at home.
This particular fuel
and I'm asking, Minister, when you are hoping that the student will go back to school?
I'm hoping for us to give me the good news, because we fit timelines on this, and what it means is that by that timeline, if the various committee in education and salaries, incomes, and wages have failed to do whatever they're supposed to do, but I don't think they will fail.
Okay.
Because I've locked them all up. The agreement committee is the one I'm more particular about, because that will give ASUU people more money from their salaries and from all their allowances. Things are hard. The economic situation is biting and bad. I don't see why a professor in Nigeria should be earning about 400 and something thousand after taxes and net. No, it's not the best.
So one of the areas that is very very worrying to the university lecturers is the issue of the payment system, the payroll system. Up to now, the university, the payroll that was suggested by the university lecturers, has it been adopted? UTAS?
We have formed a joint committee now, because they disagree with NIDA reports.
But has it been tested?
Oh, yes.
How much of, what's the percentage of the...
No, they tested, and and I'm not supposed to disclose it. It's an official secret.
I understand it was about 80%,
No,
Minister.
it wasn't up to 80%.
But did it pass the test?
No, it didn't. I'm telling you, but I won't disclose the figure.
But was IPs ever tested by NIDA?
IPs came in even before we came as a government.
No, but the question is that did he face that same test that he subjected
excuse me, when the IPs came, and if there was no regulation that any solution or any software that's going to be used by government will receive NIDA certification, if there was no such regulation or law, it's not the fault of anybody.
Because
IPs came on.
If you did not test IPs, and you are testing UTAS, and as far as the information that the university lecturers have, they said it's about 80%.
No, it's not about 80%.
And you are not allowing it to go.
No, it's not. We have formed a joint committee now, and we're bringing neutral ICT persons to join them and give us what the actual result is. NIDA is a government agency. They say they don't trust NIDA so much. They are suspicious. I don't blame them. But they should be very comfortable with the fact that I and the Secretary to Government of the Federation were strong supporters of UTAS, because we like homegrown things. It's Executive Order 3 and 5. So they should relax.
Let's wrap up on this, on the education matter, because
about 3 weeks to report back.
Another area that there's been some issues hanging is the health. We touched on briefly. The university lecturers declared, saying that the government should declare a state of emergency on education. According to them, they say, quote, what Professor Shodaka said, the education sector in Nigeria is in crisis and money is being lost in the primary, secondary, and tertiary education levels. Is the government aware about the debilitating state of our education sector?
A lot of our sectors are not at optimum capacity.
We're talking about education now, Minister.
Not only education.
No, let's talk about the education.
I'm not Minister of Education.
No, but you are a member of the cabinet.
Yes,
do you agree that a state of emergency should be declared in education?
If you leave me, I will overhaul education completely. I don't like the system we have. I don't like the 6334 system.
What would you do differently?
I will put something in the middle for people to go for 1 year vocational training, to know how to use their hands for carpentry, tailoring, bread making, confectionaries for ladies, tailoring, and painting, and the rest of it. Our children must have skill.
Was that what applied when you were in school?
When I was in school, it didn't apply, but we were doing what is called agricultural science. We go to the farm.
It still exists in the education system?
I don't know.
It does. There's agricultural science still.
No, but they don't go to farm and do real farming from what they read. They don't also do what they call handwork. At time, we were doing handwork. You must show some kind of skill, either in making a basket or making this or that. But we should formalize it. That's my take.
The education sector is in a mess. That's what you're saying.
I'm not saying it's a mess, Shego. Don't put words into my mouth.
Let me go
I should overhaul it.
Yeah. If it's not in a mess, you will
not. It's not working at optimum capacity.
So maybe it's in a bad shape. If you don't want to use a mess. The health sector,
don't go to
the resident doctors.
No, leave that one. I'm not. I've dealt with them. They're happy now. Leave that.
No, they are not happy.
No, don't go.
I've spoken to them, Minister.
What happened? What did they say?
There are still unresolved issues,
like
medical residency training fund allowance, the 2020 outstanding, which was budgeted in 20.
For some people who didn't receive it,
the hazard allowance was unilaterally decided by the FG, which was rejected. The 2014, 2015, 2016 arrears of salary shortfalls having been paid to be affected doctors. So the question, Minister, is that should workers go on strike before government take action?
All this should be handled by Minister of Health.
You keep pushing into that because
they're direct employers.
But when they go on strike, you are the one who deal with it.
Good. That's why I react proactively. These people have discussions with me every month. They're my colleagues.
Long-time colleague, because you're not a practicing doctor
some of these things that you are talking about with them have not been brought to my attention.
But I'm telling you that they might come out very soon.
No, they won't. They won't.
And the medical sector might be shut down again.
No, they won't.
The education sector shut down.
The NMA president is seeing me tomorrow. I will discuss this with him. And if there is need, I will talk to the two ministers of health.
Let me quickly take you up on before we move into politics.
I hope you're not fanning up industrial discord.
No, this is not industrial. These are just questions.
The way you are talking.
No. These are conversations.
No, your questions are slant.
No. There's no slant. I'm just asking you straight questions, Honorable Minister.
No, you're not.
Is it because I'm not smiling?
Well, you better smile.
Okay, Minister, let me ask you this. A few people would like you to respond to some of these issues. Can you confirm to us if the UAE and Nigeria is having any existing MOU and employment?
United Arab Emirates. Yes, there is, but it's up for review.
Since when?
They're working on it. It's an interministerial thing. Foreign Affairs is in the lead. We are there. Immigration is there from Interior. And who else is there? I don't know whether Education is there, but it's an interministerial thing. They will look at everything. We also need to actually take it very seriously, because there are some jobs in the UAE that they don't allow foreigners to do. There are some jobs which are meant for foreigners, and again, when they come there, they do some kind of segregation based on color and stuff like that. So that's what we are.
I'm raising this matter because of the difficulty of some Nigerians to get renewal of work permits, and is presently going on in the UAE.
Yes, because some of those jobs they were doing before have been removed from that basket for all foreigners, and then now some group of foreigners are now allowed to do that work. You understand what I'm saying?
So is there any end in sight into that?
We are pursuing it.
You're talking with the UAE government?
Yes.
Is there any hope?
Why not?
Okay.
Why not? Yes, there is. Not only UAE, there is even Qatar, and so the negotiations are on.
Before I go into politics, just this one question. The 10 million jobs that's promised under this government, the president has promised, that means about a million jobs per year for 10 years.
Yes.
The question is, how many have, we are in March of 2022. As at the end of 2021, since you are the minister in charge of employment, how many jobs has Nigeria provided, or this government directly provided to its citizens?
Job creation is not a one-shop thing. It goes across strata, runs across. And we are trying to now see if we can unify everything and have a desk where we can, from there, monitor everything everybody is doing. Just last week, because of the unemployment figures we've been having, which are very frightening, I must say, the President of the Federal Republic approved for a senior special assistant on job creation, and it's posted to Federal Ministry of Labor. This is because we want to take this matter of job creation seriously. If you go and look at the MBS statistics, you will see that because of COVID-19, because of the crash in oil prices and everything, our economy in terms of job creation has not been too wonderful. Coupled with the fact, anyway, that we in Nigeria, we have not managed our population. Our population is galloping.
And that's the reason why unemployment is rising.
Of course.
It's risen to almost over 30.
It's a supply and demand situation.
The percentage. And as the minister in charge of that sector, I mean, under this government, it has risen from less than 20 to over 30.
It's not only in Nigeria.
Minister, let's focus on Nigeria.
It's even the world.
No, let's focus on Nigeria. Well, I mean, how you are able to manage.
Our earnings have dropped.
There are more Nigerians are now out of job since your government came into power.
No, but we have not retrenched. That's the important thing. This government has not retrenched.
But the NBS figures are saying that more people are out of jobs.
Yes, a lot of factors have caused it. Our earnings have been bad. If you remember, our earnings were so bad that we went into recession in 2016, came out from recession about 2017-18. Then you have COVID. COVID took away jobs all over the world, not only in Nigeria. But luckily we are trying. Nigerian government under Muhammadu Buhari, we said, don't retrench. Don't retrench. So even we extended it to the private sector. I said, don't retrench.
Minister,
we will give you some support.
Let's talk about politics.
Yeah, are you a politician?
I'm not. I'm a political journalist.
Okay.
Okay. So let's begin by asking you, are you running for president?
That's a $1 million question. Are you running for president?
Yes.
What do you want me to answer you now?
Whether or not you are not, yes or no?
But if you're contemporaneous, like you said, as a political journalist, you will have read where I told my constituents that were urging me on last December 31 or so, that I will do some consultation and that I will speak to them in April during Easter. So I'm doing my consultation. But make no mistake about that. Am I not qualified to run for president of Nigeria?
That's a big question you need to answer tonight.
No. I'm asking you.
No, I can't answer questions. I'm not obliged as a journalist to answer questions. I'm asked to ask questions. So I'm constitutionally asked to ask questions.
Yes, you're right.
So the question is, are you?
I'm still consulting.
Okay.
That's what I told you. And that consultation is still on. But I know I'm qualified to run for president of Nigeria.
Have you spoken to your principal about it?
No, I have not, because I've not gotten to that stage.
Do you want to be president?
I can manage Nigeria.
But do you want to?
That's part of the consultation.
Whether or not you can, I can be a president of Nigeria because I have, constitutionally, I have all it takes to be a president of Nigeria. There's a different thing as whether I want to be.
As I speak to you,
the question, your capacity.
Before I left my office,
yes,
I had two gentlemen who came to my office. One was a former Inspector General of Police, and he came with some people. they are urging me to come and run for president of Nigeria.
Will Chris Ngige run?
It's part of the consultation.
Would you run?
Wait till April.
Do you want to? It's an opportunity for you to free advert for you right now.
What
I mean, which you don't need to pay for, minister.
What do you mean
minister,
by
free advert. If you just tell Nigerians whether or not you want to be,
I will not say anything like that till April. I'll go back to my constituents.
Okay.
And after I finish with my constituent, I'll go to my principal. I'm in a job. I mean, I have a boss.
Yeah.
I will discuss with him. But make no mistake about it. I'm very qualified. Going through section 131 of the Constitution, the qualifications there.
Yeah.
I hope you know the qualifications. Nigerian by birth, I am. 35 years. I'm over 35 years. Up. Belong to a political party. I am. Foundation member of APC.
No criminal records.
No criminal records. Educated up to school certificate level. I did school certificate.
You have that.
72.
And not contestable.
Division 1. Distinction.
Okay.
MBBS degree in medicine. So, but I have more than that. The weight of experience I have.
Yeah.
I'm consulting, and I'm consulting seriously.
Do you think your party is considering the Southeast? You are from the Southeast, and when people talk about Igbo presidency, you think it's the time is right?
Chego, if I'm going to run for president of Nigeria, I'm not going to run for president of Nigeria because I'm Igbo. No. I'm going to run for president of Nigeria as Chris Ngige, a Nigerian citizen from the southeast of Nigeria, precisely Anambra State, and from a local government called Idemili South, and a village town, a town called Alo. Make no mistake about that. I'm not going to wear a toga of Igbo president. No. I'm of Igbo extraction, but very qualified to be president of Nigeria. So any day you see me throw my hat into the ring, is because I'm a qualified Nigerian. Your friend,
who
can and who have the capacity,
minister,
and the capability to govern this country.
Your friend Bola Tinubu,
yes,
and a host of others have thrown their hat in the ring. The question is that if you go head to head with the likes of Bola Tinubu, are you able to, when in the primaries, do you have what it takes to be able to defeat him at the primaries?
He's my very good friend, so don't particularize this. He's not the only one who has said he wants to be president.
But he's a front runner.
I don't know. But Korocha is there. He say he wants to be president. Umahi is there. He wants to be president. There are so many people who want to be president. So don't particularize Asiwaju. Asiwaju is exercising his right as a citizen of Nigeria.
So I'm asking a direct question whether or not...
Nobody can take away that right from him. And he will not also take away my own right from me. Anytime I decide I want to.
As a politician, you also measure your opportunities.
I don't know what you mean by measuring my opportunities.
Whether or not you stand a chance with all of these big wigs in your party. There are a lot of big names in your party.
No.
That have thrown their hat in the ring.
The people causing problem by some of the things you people write and say.
Like
I say I have the capacity. I'm eminently qualified to say I want to be president of Nigeria and to actualize it by throwing my hat into the ring and by governing the country effectively and efficiently.
Were you the person the president was talking about in that exclusive interview?
The president have not told you.
No, I'm asking whether...
I don't know. How can I know?
Okay, you don't know whether you are the president. No, the president does not want to reveal just yet.
No, the president is my friend. That's all I know. My friend, my very good friend. Even before he became president.
Is it possible, Honorable Minister, that top politicians of Igbo extraction have sat on the table and said, look, let's join forces, let's come out very strong and in one voice in 2023? Is there that thinking? Are you thinking in that direction?
If it happens, that's very good.
Chibayi Adebanjo writing on the program
yesterday. Can it happen?
Chibayi Adebanjo writing on the program yesterday was rooting for the Southeast.
Why do you want all the Igbos to be on one table and say it's Mr. A or Mr. B?
History teaches us a very big lesson about Nigeria's politics.
Did the Northerners do so when it was their turn?
But they came out to say it's their turn.
No,
the people
were
came out.
contested in my party. Kwankwanso contested in my party. Ndazaya contested in my party. Who else from
Okorocha
the north?
contested. Atiku Abubakar contested.
Atiku Abubakar contested. 4 from the north. They didn't come with any consensus person. So why are you people saying Igbos must do that? Why?
So there's no need for you.
I'm from Southeast, I've told you. And that if I'm running on my credentials as a Nigerian who is capable, eminently qualified. That's what I told you. So stop talking about table and no table and
you don't want to sit at any table. No unifying, no agreement, nothing.
If I decide to run, there is no need for table. You don't know me well. If I'm strong-willed enough that if I say I'm going to touch this mountain, I don't care whether you people that put bulldozers and things there, I will go and touch the mountain. So there's don't bring the nuances of table discussion. And,
they call you Onwa, right? That's your title, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
The moon that shines.
Senator
for people to see the
Chris
light.
Nwabweze Ngige.
Yes.
At the time when you come out or you decide to come out, whether you want to run, let us know.
I will let you know.
I wish you the very best.
You are the first point of call.
Thank you so much for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Senator Chris Ngige is the Minister of Labour and Employment. Thank you so much for coming tonight.
Thank you.
But that's our show for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye for now.